So many of you guys come from where I come from, start from humble beginnings like me. People try to block your blessings at every corner, everywhere you went. Sometimes you ask God, why me, God? Why is this happening to me? But if you didn't die, it's truly a blessing because you're learning from the lessons. So someday in the future, you could apply that to your life and your success. People come from all over the world to America to achieve the dream. I still believe that America is the land of dreams. I have a friend, his father started out selling fish on the side of the highway. He eventually bought the building behind him and opened the biggest fish market in the Bronx. You may be the first generation, but now's the time to stop the vicious cycle of poverty in your family. Now's the time. You're just beginning your lives. Some of you been around, but I'm telling you, success never stops. There is no age limit to being successful. When I first started, they used to tell me, Joe, save all your money. Rappers don't make it this long. Now I'm more successful than I ever been in my life. You have to stay determined. You have to stay willing to fight for your dream. You have to stay hungry. Never let the hunger die. Coming from the Bronx, this is what pushes me and motivates me every day to never stop. It's not greed. They ask me all the time, Joe, what's your why? Of course, I say it's my family first. Second is my community. See, the kid in you never dies. I'm still a kid from Forest Projects in the South Bronx. I tell you a quick story. I'm sitting in the couch. I feel hopeless. CNN is showing Puerto Rico's devastation with the hurricane. It felt like nobody was doing nothing for Puerto Rico. I called my brother, former Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz. I said, Ruben, we got to do something. Now, how could a guy from the projects, a guy who grew up on welfare, a guy who never had the least likely to succeed, what can I do to help a whole country? So we got together. We got everybody to come out. We gathered over 1 million pounds of women's hygienes and medicine and generators and food and Pampers and perishable goods. And we sent them on 4 airplanes to Puerto Rico. You have to look at the world with an empty canvas. It's up to you to create your future. Your futures are bright. When I look at a lady crossing the street with 2 kids, she may be poor, but I look at them kids and I say, wow, he might be the next Obama. He might be the next Jay-Z. She might be the next Michelle Obama. She might be the next Beyonce. I tell you this, everybody who grew up poor, you tell yourself, man, I got to get up out of here. Don't forget where you come from. Never forget where you come from. And people run away from that. Me, I open businesses in my community. I have single-parent mothers who just bought their first homes. I have to be out there with the people. Something happens to me in the Bronx or anywhere in New York City, shame on you, because I'm the only one out here showing my face like this. I love you guys. Congratulations. And now you can officially call me Dr. Fat Joseph Cartagena.
Today would not be possible, graduates, without all the loved ones in this crowd. The parents who made sure you got your application materials in, many of whom did not have the funds or the opportunity to go to college. A time when all should have the chance to earn a day like today, even though we're in the first quarter of the 21st century. They are so proud of you, graduates, and so are the aunties and the uncles. Yes, I said aunties. I'm from Mississippi. And uncles and all those who just wanted to help however they could. Those who sent you money by Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and even the old-fashioned way, a check in the mail. Or maybe you even got that money from a person like Virgil E. Pearson from St. Peter Missionary Baptist Church, who would slide me $1 or $2 and say, go do what you got to do. The siblings and your friends who supported you, who kept you going through these tough times. Please, I know the president had asked you to give them a hand, but I'm giving you an opportunity to clap for them again.
Yeah.
But I'm also honored to be here with all of you graduates, the folk getting degrees today. You are what make this institution special. You are the reason all these folk are here. Even though I'm from Mississippi, I've been familiar with CUNY for quite some time. One of my state civil rights lawyers, community organizers, community activists. My friend, Jaribu Hill, is a graduate of CUNY Law. She is a quintessential graduate of CUNY, a public interest lawyer who cannot sit still, who will not be silenced, and who will stand up for others. The fight for social change through radical lawyering and collaboration is what CUNY instilled in her. It is what Jaribu has brought to Mississippi. But I was introduced to Hunter College by one of its remarkable graduates, Malky Schwartz, who was working in Mississippi with the Institute of Southern Jewish Life. The Institute had a program, TAP, Talk About the Problems. They were teaching middle school and high school students in Jackson how to resolve conflict in healthy ways, in productive ways, in democratic ways. Although she is back with you here at Hunter College, Malky returns to Mississippi annually, but she has a co-conspirator, your director of student life, Misha Smith. They plot, they scheme to ensure Hunter students are engaged in active learning outside of the classroom, beyond the campus. They ensure that Hunter students' academic experience is enhanced by learning about themselves and learning about and from others. Each spring, Malky and Misha usher Hunter students on a tour to Mississippi to learn about the civil rights movement. One of the central lessons of that movement is that its victories did not come from nowhere, nor did they come from on high. They were delivered by ordinary people, regular folk, in many instances students, young men and young women just like you, not just from Mississippi, not just from the South, but from places across the country, places like Hunter. Consider Paula Murray, class of 1933, the author of the book, States' Laws on Race and Color, which Thurgood Marshall, the founding father of the New America, he called that book the Bible of the Civil Rights Movement. She co-founded the National Organization of Women and was a barrier-breaking leader in the Episcopal Church. Murray's story is remarkable, and she learned to create that change right here at Hunter As a student, Murray struggled, like I'm sure some of you did, maybe even like most of you did. She struggled. She had to take remedial classes just to get accepted. Where she enrolled her work in her first classes, she earned a C minus and a D. She had to work nights and make ends meet. She lost 15 pounds, suffered from malnutrition, dealt with heartbreak. So how is it that Murray will graduate despite all of this? The same way each of you did. Not by doing it alone, but by doing it with other people, with supportive, caring, and committed professors who helped her turn D's into B's, with Hunter students whose multiracial international makeup gave Murray what she called an antidote to the poisonous notion of superior and inferior races, and with Hunter's organizers and troublemakers whose campaigns to change the institution for the better led Murray to what she said were her first tentative steps toward activism. Learning together, struggling together, overcoming together. That was how Murray earned her degree here, a place she said reinforced our egalitarian values and encouraged our resistance to subordinate roles. You can see why Murray found her education at Hunter so important. When she graduated in 1933, she entered a world that betrayed equality and stifled resistance, a world where leaders spread fascism and tried to destroy democracy, a world where people were targeted and tortured and killed for having the wrong religion, the wrong skin color, the wrong sexual identity, a world where hatred ran rampant and for many unaddressed, a world, in other words, a world much like the one you all are entering, but far from the one that your parents and grandparents wanted for you. In the face of this bleak world, though, Pauli Murray was armed with her education, a degree that you now hold in your hands, a degree that celebrates achievement. Yes, it does. But also a degree that proves you are critical thinkers who see problems from a diversity of perspectives. A degree that demands you question authority rather than accept things as they are. A degree that represents an unquenchable desire to make things better. A degree that arms you with the knowledge about why civic engagement is so important. A degree that makes you understand that civic responsibility includes not only voting, but advocating for positions. A degree that calls for you to stand in that voting line, be the first there, and if you're late, be the last there. A degree that tells you that civic responsibility is not limited to voting, but when you receive that jury summons, you show up to be the most important person in that courtroom. So when I look out in this audience and I see many students of color who make up the majority of these 3,000 people graduating today, Hunter's leadership is right to tout its diversity. But we should all remember where that diversity came from. In 1933, Pauli Murray was one of 4 black students in a class of 247. For most of its history, Hunter College was overwhelmingly white. But that only changed when black and Puerto Rican students decided that CUNY schools needed to change. In 1969, Those students of color held rallies. They boycotted classes. They occupied buildings. And they demanded to negotiate with administrators, calling to make CUNY fulfill its mission to educate the children of the whole people. Change did not come immediately, and it came at a cost. Some protesting students were disciplined. Some were suspended. Others were arrested. But that sacrifice and persistence paid off. Administrators initiated promised diversification efforts 5 years earlier than planned. The student success, to quote CUNY professor Stephen Breyer, essentially remade the CUNY system overnight. This was not even the first time that Hunter College was remade by its students. In the 1930s, Jewish immigrant students held rallies, circulated petitions, and lobbied officials to ensure that Hunter College did not price out poor and working class applicants. Similar student struggles in the 1990s fended off budget cuts that would have devastated college discovery and SEEK, the programs that allow people from all backgrounds to be educated here. We can see the fruits of the struggle in this room. 1 in 3 of today's graduates are immigrants, and many of you are the first in your families to go to college. And so many relied on college discovery and SEEK to be here today. So yes, it is an honor to be with you because of this school's diversity, because of this school's status as an engine of socioeconomic mobility. But most of all, graduates, it's an honor to be here because this is a school built by the struggle of its students. A Hunter College degree is a degree of democracy. It is a degree made of, by, and for the people who earn it. I cannot express what an honor it is for you to have permitted me to receive a degree from this institution, the institution you have built. So often, commencement speakers share wisdom with graduates about how to navigate the future. I cannot do so today. Graduates of Hunter College, you are the ones with the wisdom to bestow. You are the ones who have set the example for me. Yes, you struggle through tough classes and challenging exams, but you also struggle to support your families, to help out your siblings, to love on your cousins, to be there for your parents, and in some instances, even financially support your parents and your siblings. Some of you raise your own children. Many of you work a job. Some of you work 2 jobs. Others may have worked 3 jobs, but you participated in student groups. Others organized and marched and protested for what you believed in. And doing all of that, you still managed to get your degrees. So if there is one thing I can ask you to do, I've told you about voting. I've told you about jury service. That does just not apply to the graduates. That applies to everybody in this building. But if I can get you to do one thing, I ask you to do. Do not forget the lessons that you've taught me. Always remember how you got to today. Remember that success comes by struggling together rather than alone. Because that's not just how Hunter College students remade this institution. It's how Hunter College can remake any institution in any place. Think of Pauli Murray, who remade Howard University in Washington, D.C. Think of Pauli Murray, who remade Yale Law School in Connecticut. Think of Pauli Murray, who remade the Office of the Attorney General in California. And think of Pauli Murray, who rechanged and changed the School of Law in Ghana. And think, graduates, of Pauli Murray, how she changed America. Each of you can create change anywhere, in any city, in any state, in any country. And wherever you go, you can be the next torchbearer for progress. The community you built to get you through the education proves it. The Hunter College you remade during your time here proves it. So continue to stand up, graduates, together. Continue to fight back together. Continue to be bold together. Continue to defy the odds together. Go, graduates. You have the power. You have the key. Now you have the degree. Go and do justice. May God bless each of you, and may God bless Hunter College, and may she live forever.
It is accomplished, and I, your parents, guardians, loved ones, professors, administrators, mentors, and anyone and everyone who watched you struggle, grow, and excel, and who supported your educational journey are so very proud to celebrate with you and sing your praises. Medgar Evers class of 2024, you put in years of work, long nights of studying, unwavering dedication and commitment, an unparalleled commitment. You've shown great fortitude in your moments of difficulty and distress, and came through with great honor and distinction, with only bright horizons ahead. Today, you are graduates. You are national treasures. And today you are upholding the singular legacy of the man, Medgar Evers, the man whom this proud institution was named for. You are the talented 10th that W.A.B. Du Bois wrote about. And as our wise elders have said, you are all indeed our ancestors' wildest dreams. For these reasons and so many more, you have persevered, excelled, and achieved, and will be presented your degrees with dignity and distinction. The first of many degrees for many of you. For others, one of multiple degrees already attained. Now, some of you might be the first in your family to graduate from college. Maybe you did not follow the path that was expected of you, and you may have questioned everything about your decision. But know that stepping out of your uncertainty and fear is the best thing you could have done for your self-discovery and enlightenment. The lessons, wisdom, knowledge that you've gained will stay with you for a lifetime, as long as you never relent in your quest for knowledge. So let me challenge you today to be lifelong learners, because knowledge is infinite. It is power, and it is there for your taking. And graduates, there is a lot of life to live. While this part of your journey is coming to a close, your next chapter will now take on new dimensions and dynamics. It will not only provide you with the opportunity to utilize your skills in the practical application of your discipline, but the power to unlock untold doors on the road ahead. Make no mistake, there's so many different ways to be brilliant. And I believe in you and that every human being is born with gifts and talents. Continue to tap into your God-given abilities and go for it. The sky is the limit. Go forth strengthened and emboldened by the courage of your convictions and the power of your education. We need you. Your families, communities, and indeed your nation need you to show up and show out. Your skills and leadership are in great demand. So go forth and continue to blaze trails of success and continue to achieve what we all know you are capable of because you've proven it time and time again. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and to witness this wonderful, wonderful celebration of excellence. Stay strong, stay blessed. One love, and as they say in the street, bless up and walk good. Congratulations once again to the graduating class of 2024.
First and foremost, I want to thank all the people who supported me in accomplishing such a momentous achievement. During my time at BCC, I have met the most amazing and passionate professors who have put their all into helping me succeed. I want to thank you for being so patient and so understanding with me. Secondly, I want to thank my family members, specifically my mother, for being my rock and encouraging me to follow my dreams. My mom is truly the bestest in the whole entire world, and I would not be standing here today if it weren't for her unconditional support. I encourage my fellow graduates to also think about those who have helped you, whether that be a professor, a classmate, a parent, or even your beloved pet, and to thank them for everything that they have done. Finally, I want to congratulate all my fellow students who are graduating with me today. I know that there were multiple times where you wanted to give up, where you thought you were going to fail a class or you thought this degree would be impossible to achieve, especially during those dreaded periods of midterms and finals. But this moment is proof that we are capable and that we have what it takes to succeed, no matter the obstacle. And with that said, congratulations, graduates. We made it.
It is an honor to be here addressing the Colin Powell School of Civic and Global Leadership. When I was coming here this morning, it felt like I was coming home. I spent my early childhood not far from here in the Castle Hill projects in the Bronx. Google Maps says it's only 6 miles from here, but it feels like worlds away. After the Bronx, my family and I moved out to New Jersey, and I came back to New York after law school. I spent most of my adult life here in New York City. So as a proud New Yorker, as a proud New Yorican, it is a special honor to be asked to speak at an institution woven so thoroughly and wonderfully into the fabric of the greatest city on earth. As graduates of this Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership, you have chosen to hone your leadership skills in a world where it is easier to retreat than to lead. At a time when it's easier to give up and to climb into a cocoon where the internet delivers your food, your clothes, and your opinions to your front door. But thank God that you chose a different path, as leadership has never been more important than it is now. You have decided to become part of something bigger, to fight for the changes that this nation and that this world so desperately needs. And I'm grateful you've chosen this path. Having made the journey from public housing to this commencement podium, I feel joyful as I look out over the crowd of young people about to embark on your own journey. Standing here at your graduation, I can't help but remember my own, with my mother, with my father, with my sister, all dressed in our Sunday best. Over the years, my heritage as a proud Puerto Rican was a source of great strength for me It shaped my upbringing and continues to inform my worldview to this day. Looking out at this diverse sea of students, I suspect that many of your ancestors didn't arrive on the Mayflower either. But all of you, each and every single one of you, earned your place to be here. And for many of you in the class of 2024, just like me and my family, you've had to overcome extraordinary odds to reach this incredible moment. I'm sure that somewhere in this class, I'm looking at the next Felix Frankfurter, a City College graduate who became one of the greatest Supreme Court justices ever to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. Or possibly the next Faith Reingold, the brilliant artist and activist for gender equity and racial equality. Or maybe even the next Herb Sandler, a titan of industry who would ultimately give away a significant portion of his wealth to organizations and causes championing free speech, civil rights, and social justice. Or, of course, the next Colin Powell, who broke racial barriers throughout his career and served his country for decades in military and civilian life. You've accomplished a great deal and you should be real proud. But let's also remember to give credit to the folks who helped you along the way. Your friends, of course, your professors and administrators at City College, but also the people who sacrificed to provide for you, the people who worked overtime for your tuition, the people who kept immaculate homes you came home to, the people who cooked your meals, who put a roof over your head, who had dreams for you, the people who pushed you, who believed in you, who hugged you, the people who picked you up when you fell down, the people who taught you how to walk, the people who taught you how to say your first words, the people who taught you how to read, the people who showed you the meaning of the word love. And of course, I'm talking about your families. And graduates, you can feel real proud that you're in that cap and gown, that you're about to walk across this stage, styling your way to get your diploma. But you know that this diploma is as much theirs as it is yours. So why don't you, the graduates, turn up the house lights, please. Why don't you, the graduates, get on your feet and join me in giving the moms and dads, the tios and tias, the grandmothers, the daddies, the bubbies, the nanas, the abuelas, the abuelos, and the countless others, get on your feet and give them a round of applause for what they have done to make today happen. Since we're talking about people, thank you. Since we're talking about people who support us along the way, I'd like to say a few words about someone who chose to be a part of my journey. My late friend and former mentor, Herb Sandler, City College graduate, class of 1951. He was the founder and CEO of Golden West Financial Corporation. And Herb used what he learned here to make enough money in banking that he could have built himself a castle and forgotten the problems faced by ordinary folk. But instead, he used what he learned at City College and what he learned growing up poor on the Lower East Side to lift up and reach down to help others as well. Herb used his wealth to advance freedom and justice for everyone in this country. And over the years, he gave me advice, he gave me support, he even gave me love when I needed it. Herb Sandler was a true believer when it came to freedom of speech. He valued divergent viewpoints, even when those viewpoints were critical of his industry, of his bank, or even himself personally. The press was sometimes unkind or even unfair to him. But Herb walked the walk when it came to free speech and a free press. He always believed that the answer to criticism, even if unfair or unfounded, was more speech, not less. He believed in open debate, not censorship. He understood the centrality of real journalism to our democracy. And with his philanthropy, he helped create ProPublica, one of the most important institutions during tough, nonpartisan reporting. At the ACLU, we deeply believe that freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and academic freedom are all interconnected, that they're all critically important to the functioning of our democracy. The ability to collect and impart information, the ability to discuss, debate, and even hotly contest ideas. This is especially true for challenging ideas, controversial ideas, even repugnant ideas. We have zealously fought for the rights of people and groups of varied ideologies and beliefs to speak their minds, from gun owners to gun opponents, from anti-LGBT organizations to pro-LGBT groups, from Trump supporters to anti-Trump activists. And that's why the ACLU fights so passionately to protect the freedom of speech on college campuses right now when it's under attack. As a domestic organization, the ACLU takes no position on wars between foreign countries, never have and don't now. Yet we champion the rights of students to express themselves, whichever side they are on, whatever it is they believe. Universities have a responsibility to ensure they maintain an environment in which all students can thrive and learn. But it's not the university's job to protect students from hearing or engaging with upsetting or even hurtful ideas. In fact, it's the university's job to prepare the leaders of tomorrow by exposing them to challenging worldviews, competing analyses. The leaders of tomorrow, you, the class of 2024, need to be comfortable with the contestation of facts and the clash of ideologies. Sometimes it's a hard line to walk. As passionately as students care, free speech is not a license for violence or property destruction or physical intimidation or harassment of other students. And as worried as administrators are, they must respect their students' free speech rights and honor the long and important tradition of student campus activism. That means that universities must not single out particular viewpoints for censorship, discipline, or disproportionate punishment. Whether students carry Palestinian, Israeli, or American flags, whether they are progressives, moderates, or conservatives, everyone must be accorded the same rights and accept the same responsibilities. And universities have an obligation to protect students from discriminatory harassment and violence. And this year, too many universities have failed to meet this obligation to their Jewish, Muslim, Arab, Israeli, and Palestinian students. And most fundamentally, the universities must not penalize students for expressing their viewpoints, even if they do so in deeply offensive terms. They can, of course, enforce and announce reasonable, content-neutral, time, place, manner policies on protesting activity, but they must leave ample room for students to express themselves. And I think most tellingly, universities must also recognize that armed police on campus can endanger students, especially students of color, and that should be a measure of last resort. Administrators have to recognize that many of the pressures that are being placed on them are coming from politicians seeking to exploit campus tensions. Recognizing the source of these pressures is the first step. Resisting them is the second. Class of 2024, you're graduating at a challenging time. No one would blame you if you wanted to reconsider your career in leadership or public service right now. But I'm guessing that's not going to happen. You are New York City tough. You are City College trained. You follow in the footsteps of Frankfurter, Reingold, Sandler, and Powell. You are meant for more. Much has been given to you, and even greater things are expected from you. Reach out and make a difference in people's lives, just like your parents and your professors did. Get off the beaten path. Discover new communities. Respect and engage with people whose passions and opinions differ from your own. Speak your mind with courage and clarity, but also stand up for the right of your opponents to do the same. Become part of institutions that will magnify your voice and drive change. Leadership is not ordained from above. It doesn't come from yelling the loudest, and it certainly isn't possible from a self-imposed isolation chamber. It comes from your heart. It comes from your mind. It comes from the sweat of your brow. It comes from communities, from the institutions that you will populate and lead, and from the people whose lives you will touch. Congratulations, graduates, and I thank you in advance for what I know you're going to achieve. The world desperately needs the 2024 graduates of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership. It will be thrilling to watch you rock it. And now give yourselves a round of applause you so deeply deserve. Thank you.
Imagine embarking on a challenging hike through rugged terrain. What would you bring in your backpack? You could carry a bottle of water, food to nourish you, a detailed map to help you navigate the twists and turns, a raincoat to shield you from unexpected storms. Life is like a hike. Along this hike, there are peaks and valleys. In life, the ups are very rewarding, while the downs can feel discouraging. Recently, humanity faced one of these downs, the COVID-19 pandemic. We can all agree on the tremendous impact it had on our educational journey. In 2020, COVID changed the way we learned and communicated. Our bedrooms became our classrooms. We got to know each other through private chats and discussion boards. And we had to find motivation during a global crisis. This journey began with unexpected challenges, and we had to adapt quickly. But we persevered, and eventually we got the in-person experience we all craved. We developed relationships and grew as future industry professionals in our classes. Today, we are college graduates, and after adjusting to that roller coaster of an experience, we are ready to face whatever's next head on. The pandemic brought challenges we were unprepared to face. Whether it was increased financial need, employment issues, family conflicts, or losing a loved one, or even contracting COVID-19, we all had many more battles to face during this time. For many of us, attempting to tackle these hardships while prioritizing our education took a toll on our mental health. I know each of us experienced a specific challenge during the pandemic that stood out from the rest. I would like to quickly share a unique challenge that has been most detrimental to me. Narcolepsy is a sleep disorder I have had since childhood. It is a condition often misunderstood, and I have rarely discussed it with others. Imagine your body's sleep and wake cycle constantly being disrupted, which then leads to the overwhelming feeling of sleepiness throughout the day. It creates this ongoing battle with unexpected sleep attacks, which can affect daily life activities like focusing in class. Despite this, with the right management and support, individuals with narcolepsy can live successfully. Narcolepsy taught me to prioritize my health and not to be afraid to be vulnerable. It made me more empathetic towards others, knowing that they may be facing invisible battles like narcolepsy. We must look past these difficulties, learn from them, and embrace our vulnerabilities as strengths rather than weaknesses. That makes us stronger. These challenges motivate us to pursue our goals and to jump on every opportunity we can get. At CityTech, we have had many experiences that have allowed us to grow and equip us with the tools we need for our future. Classes that challenge us and projects completed can lead to a revolution of ways to innovate our respective industries. Clubs like the Anna Nurse Club, the Tea Club, or the American Culinary Federation Club create connections with industry experts, professors, and classmates, which can lead to a new job opportunity or even help you find the perfect employee once you are a supervisor. College extracurricular activities like the Walt Disney College Program or volunteering can be what made you confident that you were meant for the career you chose and gave you a skill set that you might have not acquired in class alone. Internships like mine at Cut by Wolfgang Puck can be the beginning of a great career. Programs offered by the college, like the Thomas Aaron Study Abroad program in France, are experiences full of new life lessons. I learned that traveling is a more attainable goal than I thought, and that the world is within our reach to explore. This college experience is what unlocked your potential. Now it's time to harness that potential and for you to explore the world. Look at all we've done that has led up to this moment. We have come to the end of a path and are stuck with the fork in the road. It's up to us what we do next. Regardless of what you choose, be ready. A new journey is about to begin. After all your experiences at CityTech, you are prepared. That backpack you carry is full of new tools. Thank you to CityTech for all the opportunities for students to grow outside the classroom. Thank you to the faculty and staff for the unwavering support and mentorship we received during our time here as students. And now, as we move on into the world as college graduates, congratulations, class of 2024. Go out there and achieve your wildest dreams. We're ready. Thank you.
So in my 30-plus years as a pediatrician, I've had incredible privilege to work with children and families, in many cases, who are living in the margins of our society, such as unattached street youth. And it was funny walking here because half a block down is where I parked my mobile medical unit and cared for unattached street youth for 20 years. I work with families experiencing homelessness in the shelter system, children living in under-resourced neighborhoods of the South Bronx, and newly arrived unaccompanied immigrant children and families seeking humanitarian protection in the U.S. I have seen firsthand how structural racism, failed institutions such as the foster care system, and outrageous xenophobia and dehumanization of immigrants has led to unforgivable health disparities. Of course, I've learned much from clinical practice, but I really should say I learned the most directly from the patients, the children and families I have cared for over the years. And I'm continuously amazed by their resilience and their ability to beat the odds, at least in most cases. And it has been a natural progression for me to go from clinical work to advocacy, making what is invisible to most people in our society visible. And this is where you come in. It has been working side by side my public health professional colleagues who really made me a stronger advocate and made me a better doctor. It is my public health colleagues that taught me to look at our work from a population health perspective, to look deeper into the data in order to tell the story that really needs to be told, such as the disparities in asthma hospitalization among children in the South Bronx, or uncontrolled diabetics living in public housing, and most recently, the disproportionate toll that COVID took on communities of color and immigrants. They taught me to see beyond the trees, my patients, but really to look at the health of the entire forest. Working with my public health colleagues has taught me to use data and statistics to more accurately tell the true story of health equity and injustice. This is where your role is so absolutely critical. I get them to tell stories of my individual patients and really humanize the data that you give me. It's an incredible collaboration, and we have to do it together. You, your professors, and loved ones should be incredibly proud of the field you have chosen. In my opinion, arguably one of the most important professions today as the world grapples with existential threats such as climate change, war, massive displacement and migration, man-made environmental threats, and even the erosion of our freedoms. You have chosen a career that will allow you to be the new agents of change to make a better world. So let me end with two pieces of advice that I don't know if I could really do better than Billy did, but let me give you two pieces of advice from my own experience. One, don't be glued to your desk, your office, your computer, or your spreadsheets. Make sure you get out into the real world and be a first-hand witness to whatever it is you are studying. To be a truly great public health professional, you must go out and use all of your 5 senses to understand the issues that you seek to improve. And don't forget to listen to the people most affected at hand by the issues you are studying. It is their lived experience, and you will learn the most from them. Second, do not get lost in your public health silo, but instead work collaboratively with others in different fields, such as medical professionals, environmentalists, teachers, lawyers, human rights advocates, and the community itself. Only working in collaboration can true change happen. In the words of the great and sadly late Dr. Paul Farmer, founder of Partners in Health and a true champion of global health and humanitarianism, he said, with rare exceptions, all of your most important achievements on this planet will come from working with others, or in another word, partnership. Now go out there and change the world, and congratulations to you all. Thank you so much.
Norman and I are proud, humbled, and somewhat embarrassed by this honor at this Queens College's 100th commencement ceremony. Norman and I met many years ago as neighbors living not quite across the street from this very spot in the Pominock City Housing Project. This June, we will be celebrating our 60th wedding anniversary. Coinciding with the 60th anniversary of 1964's Freedom Summer, that fateful summer when Queens College student Andrew Goodman, along with James Chaney and Michael Schwerner, went to Mississippi to help register Black voters and to fight voter intimidation. That fight still goes on. For their efforts, they were viciously murdered. Growing up poor, Norman and I married young, started a family right away, and always knew we were very, very lucky to have been able to attend college at all. Norman, a first-generation American who attended Queens College because the tuition was so low, took him 8 years working days and taking classes at night. I was able to go days, supplementing the meager amount my parents could afford by working after school and on weekends at neighborhood stores. Norman went into the insurance business, starting from the ground up, and I became a teacher and eventually a school librarian. So how did we get here? And what message do we hope you will take away? Work hard, work very hard, be honorable, and when you make it, share it. Thank you and good luck, graduates of the class of 2024.